Imagine you're tuned into a cosmic radio station, and suddenly, the music you love, the one that resonates with every fiber of your being, begins to fade. An electronic hiss replaces the familiar notes, and the voice that guided your mornings becomes distant, almost inaudible. What would you do? You'd probably try to adjust the dial, frantically searching to rediscover that precious signal before it's lost forever. Now transfer this analogy to your own existence. What if I told you there's a unique frequency for your future self, a state of being, a particular vibration that you may be missing right now? This isn't an invitation to generic mystical meditation or superficial self-help advice. It's a deep dive into how our own consciousness, the choices we make, and the way we perceive reality intertwine to shape who we will become. We are constantly emitting and receiving energetic frequencies, influenced by our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and, surprisingly, by the very nature of observation. Your future self is not a separate entity floating in a distant time. It is a reflection of the seeds you plant today, a direct result of your current attunement with the universe. But modern life, with its constant bombardment of information, distractions, and pressures, can detune us. It can distance us from our own essence, causing us to operate on a wavelength that does not serve our highest goals or the manifestation of the most fulfilled version of ourselves. This script explores the idea that connecting with your future self, the one who has achieved their goals, who lives with more purpose, who is more resilient and fulfilled, is not a matter of luck or fate, but rather of conscious alignment. It is about understanding that the reality we experience is not a fixed objective landscape, but rather a tapestry woven by our own perception and the way we interact with the world. Think about the times you felt in the flow, where everything seemed to conspire in your favor, where ideas came easily and solutions presented themselves effortlessly. This isn't magic. It's your ideal frequency in action. What if it were possible to cultivate and maintain this attunement, intentionally and consistently? This content seeks to demystify the veil that separates your present self from your future self, revealing that the key to this connection is more accessible than you might think. Along this journey, we will unravel the mechanisms underlying our perception of reality, examine how consciousness works at levels we're only just beginning to comprehend, and crucially, how we can learn to tune in to the frequency of our future self before the opportunity fades into the incessant flow of time and everyday distractions. Prepare for an exploration that will challenge your notions of reality, identity, and the inherent power you possess to shape your own destiny, starting now, by listening carefully to this message. The station is about to broadcast a vital signal. Are you ready to tune in? Delving into the mechanics of this frequency of the future self, it's imperative to understand that it's not a mere idealized mental state, but rather an intricate dance between quantum physics and our subjective experience. Quantum physics presents us with a universe where observation isn't passive, it actively shapes reality. The famous double-slit experiment, for example, demonstrates that subatomic particles behave differently, as waves or as localized particles, depending on whether they're being observed or not. This participation of the observer in the act of observation raises profound questions about the nature of reality and our role in it. Thus, when we refer to the frequency of your future self, we're talking about a state of quantum probability that you, as a conscious observer, are actively influencing. Your focused attention, your clear intentions, and your belief in the possibility of achieving this future create a field of energetic influence that, in essence, collapses potential probability waves toward your most desired manifestation. Think of a radio antenna. It needs to be tuned to the correct frequency to pick up a specific signal. Similarly, your consciousness, when aligned with the vision of your future self, operates like that antenna, attracting and materializing circumstances that match that vibration. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that procrastination, persistent doubt, or a scarcity mindset are not just bad habits. They are acts of detuning, of directing your energy toward frequencies that distance you from the version of yourself you desire. In contrast, a sense of gratitude for what you already have, the celebration of small victories, and the vivid visualization of your goal act like fine-tuning the dial of your consciousness, bringing you closer to the desired station. This interplay between the observer and the observed, which is central to quantum mechanics, suggests that the reality you experience is, in part, a co-creation. Your future self is not just waiting for you. It is being shaped by your present actions and perceptions. Consider the impact of a deeply ingrained limiting belief, such as, "I'll never be good enough." This belief isn't just a thought. It's a vibrational frequency that permeates your actions, interactions, and even your physiology. Consequently, you may unconsciously sabotage opportunities, interpret feedback negatively, or avoid challenges that could propel you forward, all in accordance with this frequency of inadequacy. Tuning into the frequency of your future self requires conscious effort to identify and gradually replace these dissonant frequencies with those that resonate with your goals. This process isn't an overnight shift, but rather an ongoing practice of self-awareness and intentional realignment. The emerging science of neuroplasticity offers a fascinating biological parallel to this phenomenon. Our brains are remarkably adaptable, capable of forming new neural connections and reconfiguring existing pathways based on our experiences and thoughts. By consistently focusing on thoughts and intentions aligned with your future self, you are literally redesigning the architecture of your brain, strengthening the neural circuits that support this desired future, and weakening those that keep you stuck in limiting patterns. Therefore, the frequency you emit is not something ethereal and unattainable. It is a tangible manifestation of your internal states, influenced by fundamental laws that govern the universe at its deepest levels. Recognizing and working with this interplay between consciousness and reality is the first step to actively directing your life toward the station of your future self. Deepening our understanding of how perception shapes reality, it's crucial to explore the influence of our belief patterns and how they act as filters that determine which information from the universe we perceive and which we ignore. Imagine that each of us carries a unique set of glasses, the lenses of which are shaped by all our past experiences, education, culture, and even unconscious fears and desires. These belief glasses don't allow us to see the world as it is in its entirety, but rather as we believe it to be. If your lenses are tinted with the color of distrust, you'll tend to notice the flaws, betrayals, and obstacles in every situation. If they're clouded by insecurity, opportunities will seem inaccessible and compliments will ring hollow. Conversely, if your lenses reflect optimism and confidence, you'll be more likely to see solutions, connections, and possibilities where others see only dead ends. This conscious and unconscious filtering is one of the most powerful mechanisms by which your future self becomes more or less likely to manifest. If you firmly believe that success in your career is unattainable, your glasses will filter out all evidence that contradicts this belief. You might dismiss a sincere compliment from a colleague as mere courtesy, ignore a learning opportunity as irrelevant, or interpret a temporary setback as definitive proof of your imminent failure. Consequently, you operate at a limiting frequency, attracting and creating experiences that confirm this self-imposed belief. To shift your tuning to the frequency of your future self, it's crucial to cleanse these lenses, demystifying the beliefs that limit you and replacing them with those that empower you. This isn't about denying reality, but about expanding your perception to include a broader spectrum of possibilities. Think of a scientist who, when formulating a hypothesis, actively seeks data that confirms it, but is also open to the possibility that the data will refute it, leading to new discoveries. This mental openness is analogous to the ability to adjust your belief glasses. When you consciously decide to believe you can achieve a certain goal, you begin to filter the world differently. You begin to notice information, people, and resources you previously ignored, all aligned with this new belief. Your actions also change. Instead of avoiding a challenge, you see it as a necessary step on the path, and even a stumble becomes a valuable lesson, not a sentence. This shift in perception and behavior creates a virtuous cycle, amplifying the frequency of achievement and bringing you closer to the reality of your future self. The way we interpret external events, whether positive or negative, is fertile ground for this exploration. Two individuals can face exactly the same adverse situation, for example, the loss of a job. One person with a lens of scarcity and victimhood may see it as the end of everything, sinking into despair and self-pity. This vibration of helplessness will attract more unfavorable circumstances. Another person, with a lens of resilience and opportunity, might see the same loss as an invitation to reevaluate their career, learn new skills, or even start their own business. This frequency of empowerment and proactivity will open doors and create previously invisible pathways. The key lies in recognizing that interpretation is not a fixed destination, but a skill that can be trained and refined. By actively questioning the validity of your limiting beliefs and cultivating a mindset of growth and possibility, you are actively adjusting the dial of your perception, tuning into the vibrational frequency of your future self, the one who navigates life with purpose, confidence, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Beyond filtered perception, the very nature of the energy we emit, whether consciously or not, plays a crucial role in attuning to our future self. Everything in the universe, from the smallest subatomic particles to the most distant galaxies, is in constant vibration. Our consciousness, our thoughts and emotions are no exception. They emit their own energetic frequencies. When we are immersed in thoughts of gratitude, joy, or determination, we project a high vibrational frequency. This frequency is not just a fleeting internal state. It radiates outward, influencing the energy field around us and interacting with the universal laws of attraction. Think of a tuning fork. When struck, it vibrates at a specific frequency. If another tuning fork is tuned to the same frequency, it will begin to vibrate by resonance even without being directly struck. Similarly, when your energetic frequency is aligned with that of your future self, the one who has already achieved fulfillment, peace, and purpose, you begin to attract into your life the circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with that same vibration. This explains why we sometimes feel like everything is conspiring in our favor, or that we met the right people at the right time. It's no mere coincidence. It's energetic resonance in action. Conversely, if the predominant frequency we emit is anxiety, fear, or resentment, this lower vibration tends to attract experiences that mirror these emotional states. Consequently, we may repeatedly find ourselves in situations that reinforce our fears or make us feel like victims of circumstance. This resonance dynamic is one of the reasons why your future self may seem distant or unattainable. The frequency we're emitting in the present may be misaligned with the frequency they inhabit. Shifting this tuning requires deliberately cultivating emotional and mental states that correspond to the reality we wish to manifest. For example, if your future self is someone who exudes confidence, begin practicing acts of courage in your daily life, even small ones. Celebrate your achievements, however small, as gratitude is a powerful frequency that amplifies positive experiences. Furthermore, consistency in this vibrational emission is crucial. Quantum physics suggests that energy tends to cluster with similar energy. Therefore, a sporadic focus on positive thoughts will not have the same impact as a daily, ongoing practice of cultivating a mindset of abundance, resilience, and optimism. Imagine building a house. It would be absurd to expect a single well-placed brick to build it. Similarly, building the frequency of your future self is a cumulative process where each thought, each emotion, each intentional action adds a brick to the vibrational structure you are creating. It is a continuous process of fine-tuning, where you learn to recognize the frequencies that serve you and those that sabotage you, actively choosing to direct your energy toward the desired alignment. What does this mean when you are faced with a significant challenge? It means that instead of reacting with panic or despair, which would emit a frequency of fear and scarcity, you can consciously choose to focus on the solution, learning, and inner strength. This conscious choice to emit a different frequency, one of empowerment and resilience, can radically alter the outcome and bring you closer to your vision of your future self. This energy emission is not just an abstract concept. It has tangible physical manifestations. Studies in fields such as water physics, though still debated, suggest that water can retain memory of the energies and intentions to which it has been exposed. More established, neuroscience demonstrates how emotional states influence our biochemistry and physiology. A frequency of chronic stress alters our hormones and affects our immune system, while a frequency of calm and contentment has rejuvenating effects. Thus, the frequency we emit not only shapes external reality, but also profoundly impacts our physical and mental well-being, creating a positive or negative feedback loop. The ability to hear your own vibrational frequency, to recognize whether it is aligned with your future self, is a skill that can be developed with practice and self-awareness. By doing so, you become a more conscious operator of your own energy, able to intentionally direct it toward manifesting the life you truly desire. Reflecting on this journey thus far, we realize that the echoes of our consciousness do not dissipate into a vacuum. They reverberate, shaping the very essence of the reality we experience, the lenses through which we filter the world, the energetic vibrations we emit, and the way observation itself participates in the creation of experience are not isolated elements, but rather threads intrinsically interwoven into a complex tapestry. Perception is not a passive mirror of existence, but an active force, capable of refining the clarity of certain possibilities while fading others. Each choice, each focus of our attention, each cultivated emotional state contributes to the construction of the frequency that defines us in the present, and by extension, to the attraction and manifestation of our future selves. It is not about controlling the universe, but about harmonizing our own resonance with the frequencies we long to encounter. As we approach ultimate understanding, it becomes clear that the perceived distance between our present state and future aspirations is largely an illusion, woven by a lack of intentional alignment. The currents of everyday life with their demands and distractions can easily detune us, obscuring the clear transmission of that fuller, more fulfilled self. However, the ability to readjust our inner receiver, our consciousness, lies intrinsically within us. This refined attunement is not a mystical gift for the few, but an accessible skill, a path paved by self-awareness and deliberate intention, which when cultivated begins to clear the way ahead, revealing the landscape of a future that is not just expected, but actively co-created. The true practice begins now. The frequency of your future self, that resonant melody of fulfillment and purpose, is not a transmission that simply disappears into the ether, but a continuous signal that we can learn to tune into. The key lies not in seeking something external, but in deepening our understanding of what already resides within us, the intrinsic capacity of our consciousness to be not just a spectator of reality, but an active participant in its shaping. By unraveling how our perceptions filter the world, how our vibrational energies attract experiences, and how the very act of observing can collapse probabilities, we understand that we are constantly emitting and receiving. The crucial question is not whether we can reach this future self, but whether we are willing to adjust our own inner dial to tune into it. The dissonance we sometimes feel between who we are and who we aspire to be often stems from a lack of alignment, from a focus on frequencies that distance us from our own essence. We have reached a point of clarity where the complexity of the quantum universe intertwines with the simplicity of human experience. Wisdom lies not in unraveling unattainable cosmic mysteries, but in applying these profound insights to our daily lives. By recognizing that reality is not a fixed landscape, but an ever-weaving tapestry, where every thought, every emotion, every choice is a thread of vibrant color, we are empowered. This understanding frees us from passivity and invites us into conscious authorship. Your future self is not a predetermined destiny, but a quantum probability that you, with the power of your focused attention and intentional energy, can help manifest. It's not about denying challenges or adversity, but about reframing our interaction with them, choosing the frequency of resilience, learning, and opportunity over the vibration of fear and limitation. Every moment of introspection, every act of genuine gratitude, every step you take toward your deepest values is a fine-tuning of your own frequency dial, bringing you ever closer to the station of your fulfilled self. The journey of tuning into the frequency of your future self is, at its core, an invitation to self-discovery and self-mastery. It is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice, a constant refinement of your inner resonance. The energy waves we emit and receive are the universal language of existence, and learning to speak this language with clarity and purpose is the art of manifesting the life we truly desire. The future self you long for is not lost in a parallel dimension. It is within reach, awaiting your conscious alignment. The station is broadcasting. Are you ready to listen? The deepest practice lies in the consistent application of these principles, the courage to question your own lenses of perception, and the unwavering faith in the power of your own consciousness to shape reality. The time to tune in is now.